What a sound. So if you could just tell me your name, how old you are, why you use Tinder.
Okay, so my name is Luca. I'm from Italy. I was born and raised in Florence, but I've been living in Milan for the past 8 years now. Why I use Tinder? Like, basically just to meet new people. Like, especially when I'm abroad, you don't know anybody around, so it's just a cool way to meet new people, I guess.
How old are you?
Oh, sorry, forgot about it. 26, almost 27.
Okay. So, yeah, the first question is, what would you expect from a typical date on Tinder?
Well, for sure not this. What would you expect? Just get out? Yeah, get out, get a drink or a dinner or whatever.
Do you use other websites for dating?
Not really.
And you mentioned you notice a lot of cultural differences, how people interact in Italy versus Asian countries. What would you say are the main differences
Like
if you list the
like
countries?
You mean on Tinder?
Yeah, yeah.
On using Tinder? Like Asia compared to Italy or like?
Yeah, well, each country you visited because
Okay, so basically I think that the very, very unique case is Italy, where I think it's like there's some kind of social or moral like people think they are judged, especially girls think they are judged if they use Tinder. Like the people who think they are like easy girls or stuff. So it's like more complicated to meet up with people and I mean to build any kind of relationship. Also like a friendly relationship is quite complicated because the feeling that I got is that most girls on Italy stays on Tinder, like I don't Tinder, just to increase their self-esteem, to get a lot of match and say okay, I'm so hot, people want to meet me and stuff like that, but they're not really interested in establishing a relationship, also a friendly one. Which I think it sucks because I mean Tinder is just a way to meet people in the end, not just to say okay I've got a lot of match today, it's a good day. So Italy is quite a unique case. The other countries I've used it in, like for example London, like UK, London, or in Asia, Hong Kong and Thailand, Bangkok. I've noticed people are a little bit more open-minded. Like at least in the UK, I've met a lot of people from Tinder, and like I'm still in touch with them, even if of course we are like I live in Italy, so we are not able like to have a proper friendship. But sometimes we talk or whatever, and it's still cool. I mean, if they happen to be in Italy, we can meet. I can show them around. I can give them needs for the trip, and the other way around too. So I think that's cool. While in Thailand, I have to say, like in Bangkok, I noticed quite of a difference between Bangkok and Phuket, in which I've had a week of holiday. Like basically in Phuket, most girls I found on Tinder were either whores, like proper whores, or like kind of normal girls that really were looking for money. While in Bangkok it's a little bit different because I've met a bit of tourists or expats people. And in general, also like the Thai people that I met on Tinder in Bangkok are like normal girls, like apart from the Ladyboy stuff, which is a totally different chapter, and I think it's like very specific to Thailand. I mean, they're quite open, they're quite honest, they just write in the description. So if you are not looking for them, you're just fine. So apart from the Ladyboy stuff, in Bangkok, Tinder is definitely very not so different from London. While in Phuket, as I told you, it's more like a facilitator for the pay sex business, if you want to call it like that.
And in London, did you meet international people or from England?
No, actually I met mostly like maybe not locals, like also like foreigners, but they were living in London. Like I didn't meet tourists or like not tourists. I met people that were living in London.
Yeah. And did you use it in the US as well?
No. Because when last time I was in the US was back in 2010, and Tinder was not already have not been invented yet.
Yeah. Did you come across any funny stories or like maybe bad experiences on Tinder with fake profiles, or I don't know, maybe you met someone and you expected something different, or just any weird or memorable stories?
I have to think about it actually.
Well, actually, if you didn't, then maybe your friends did, like anonymous.
Not really. Like honestly, like the most the weirdest Tinder date that I had was cool with you.
Yeah, tell me about your reaction when I proposed to do the interview. What
I
was the
thought
reaction?
I thought it was to be, I thought it was to going to end up like in the movie The Hangover, like you get either raped or kidnapped or get your money stolen or whatever. So that's because it's like really unconventional approach on thing that they wanted to like. So it was that's basically I think it was the strangest thing it happened to me. Then sometimes especially in Italy, it happened that you find some fake profiles. It's just fake profile. You receive like a standard message to visit some websites, so on. You just delete just report the account is spam, and it's no big deal. It also happened to me, for example, but that's I think it's quite common. But I had like matched this apparently very hot girl, and it happened more than one time. And then you go out, you meet her, and you discover that maybe she's like not so hot as she pretended to be in the pictures. But I mean, it was not like nothing dramatic anyhow. It was just we had a good time, like talking, chatting, whatever. If in the end, like I'd say that 95% of the times I've had a Tinder date, if you want to call it like that, it was cool. Either one way or the other one, but it was cool.
A lot of guys have this expectation to get laid on Tinder and they compete with each other. Do you have that kind of expectation as well, or are you like?
I wouldn't call it an expectation. I mean, I don't. It's basically it's like probably the easiest way to meet people, so you don't put much effort on it. I did not even complete my my profile description. My description is just three words. So it's basically I don't mind, I don't care. It's just if you meet someone cool and someone you like, why I wouldn't exclude that, of course. But I don't have expectation, or I don't feel I don't know how you say, like it's okay, I don't mind.
Yeah, you kind of, it's good, but if it's there, but if it's not,
it's okay. I don't go back home and cry. I don't mind. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Do you keep count how many people you have sex on Tinder or not?
On Tinder, no, it's not so many actually. Like on Tinder.
No, but do you stay in touch with them afterwards, or it's just
It
like one
depends.
night?
It depends. It really depends.
But in Italy, you said you didn't have much prey, so did you?
No, not not in Milan, which is the city I live in. In Florence, it's different because there's a lot of tourists, like special American girls, and they're like, like kind of open for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, one guy here, he mentioned that some backpackers were very desperate to have sex, so they even wrote him a message, or if it's true, that like the same day they wanted to hook up, but he was at work and he said like he didn't have time, and then they removed him from the pairs, so they got offended that he didn't, accept their invitation. Did you have that experience with backpackers?
No, not really. Thank you. No, not really. Like, no. I can imagine it can happen, but it's not never happened like to me like that.
Do you have a type for either, actually physical type that you're attracted by? Well, you said you were only interested in girls, I guess.
No, just girls. That's for sure. Like I usually prefer like brunettes, but no, I'm not too tall. But then, like, it really depends. Like, I assess on a case by case, not.
Yeah.
And then, once again, I'm really like interested in in talking with a person. I feel if I can get on well with someone, okay. I'm just not interested in only dating a model or whatever. So it's.
Yeah. What about psychologically? Do you have a type you're attracted by?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm actually a more defined psychological type than physical type that I'm attracted by. I think that I like open-minded person. This is in general, honestly. I also like for my friends. I like to be surrounded by people that are like open-minded, that have interesting story to tell. Like the fact that you travel the world to do a Tinder web series. That's kind of a.
Well, not just for that, but including. Yeah, that's one of my purposes.
And what else? So open-minded person that I'm just like person that are interesting to talk with, so that they have a lot of different hobbies, or especially if they're interested in some stuff which I don't know about. I'm curious. So like I mean, I have a lot of friends that with which I share my hobbies, but I also like to spend time with people that have totally different hobbies or totally different interests or come from totally different cultural contexts and listen to them and learn about them. That's cool. So if I can listen, like just sit and listen to you talking, and I don't get bored, well, that's good. But it's not so easy, I guess. I get bored easily.
Yeah. What else? Well, yeah. So, how would you say you could improve the Tinder service? And don't think I work for Tinder, because it's just a question I came up with. How can you improve the Tinder service, just out of interest, not because I work for Tinder?
What do you mean? How can I improve?
Well, improve the Tinder application.
How could you improve?
You know, people say it's very superficial, just for having sex, like no psychology. Like, do you agree with that criticism?
No, I think it's really up to you. Like it's up to the way you want to propose yourself on, like not to propose, sorry, for the present yourself on the application, and also to what you're looking for. Because I mean, you can spot like different psychological, at least different psychological types from the way, from either from the pictures or from the description, or so. I think I guess almost everybody can find what is looking for, like not in a deep way. Okay, I don't think you're gonna find like your future husband or wife on Tinder. I mean, it could happen, but it's not like I wouldn't put in the likely events. But you can find, like, I think everybody can find people which you could have fun, like not necessarily meaning having sex with, like also that, but like also like spending time and having fun as well. So it really depends. Like if you don't set your expectations too high, and if you just open, I think it's the most important thing. Like if you just open, I think that Tinder works like that, because okay, it's superficial, but it's immediate, which is what makes it interesting. Okay, like you don't have like to feel like a lot of details and stuff like that. It's just immediate. You just like start talking with someone on a very superficial basis, of course, because basically the reason why you start talking with someone is if you think it might be like nice or not, or like if you like his face or not. So that's superficial. But then you keep on talking and deepen the knowledge and so on. And so if you want to, otherwise you don't, or you just have sex and deepen any knowledge or whatever. But still, I think it's like a flexible tool. So you can use in a superficial way or like in a wider way, and I think it's fine. I mean, I don't have anything that would definitely change. Oh, you know what I would change? I would add back the last last login time, because that's cool, to understand if someone is not replying to you because it's not interesting, or just because it's not wrong.
You can't tell if they read the message as well, right?
Yeah, also that might be cool. It used to be like that. Not you can tell if they read the message, but it used to be that. It used to show the last login time, and it was cool.
But now it doesn't show.
It doesn't. Just on some operative systems, like on Windows Phone, it does show.
Windows
Phone.
Oh, okay. Maybe because they thought people get upset from being rejected, so they stopped sharing it. I don't know. So you mentioned, like you thought. Well, for instance, just an example that people create an alter ego, like through cyber messaging or just like through modern technology. So what I just want you to describe what you thought my alter ego was before you met me. You said you thought I was like quite skeptical or something. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Thought I was going to put my life in danger. Actually, I told you.
But you said because of my tone, you thought I was like a bit skeptical, or that you were surprised?
No, so it's two different issues. Like on one side, I thought like you were trying to capture like people coming to Bangkok and get money from it, not sexually related though. So I didn't think you were a hooker. I thought you were like, I don't know, either kidnapping people or you're like just, I don't know. I thought. Most likely, either steal my money or kidnap me or kill me straight away. I don't know why. So that is what I thought at the beginning. Then when we started talking, I said like, when I met you, I was positively surprised by discovering that your attitude is different, like in real as a real person and on Tinder, on WhatsApp or whatever, because I thought you were kind of a cynical person, like from the way you answer messages or like from your general attitude, and